It's erupting! Save the kids and the wives! A volcano's erupting!
John, we're on 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Hi, I'm Ron Burgundy. I'm reporting live from Santiago, Chile, which I believe translates roughly in German to a whale's pectoral muscle. Anyways, today in the news we'll be reporting on how farmers' pans can actually be detrimental to the crops during the spring. Also, new neo-Nazis have risen in the South. Here's the Champ Kind of Sports.
Champ Kind here, reporting your news. Football, United States versus Chile game. You can see, United States won here, 19-0. Chile had 0 shots on target due to the 0 shots taken. Chile had 31 possession, while United States had 69 possession. Champ Kind here with the top 5 goals of the game. Starting at number 5, Bradley diving in with some golden head. Whammy! At number 4, we have Dempsey punishing the goal from half field. Whammy! At number 3, we got the goalkeeper Guzan, the big hulk of a man, finding his way for his first goal. Whammy! Number 2, we got Dempsey. We call him Mario Kart because he's bending in from Lake the Road. Whammy! The number 1 goal of the day comes from Bradley. There's no training wheels on his bicycle. Whammy! This breaking news from the station is coming back to you, Ron.
You know, funny story, champ. When I was 7 years old, my mom made me play shuttlecock at the elderly folks' home.
The breaking news, Ron.
Oh yes, there's been an earthquake, an astonishing 9.5 on the magnitude Richter scale. 1960, epicenter, Valdivia. Chile, and it was 33 kilometers deep. This happened at 3:11.14 p.m. So far, the death toll is only at 6, but is expected to rise to about 6,000. Now, we have Brick, live cast on the scene of the earthquake. Let's go see the damage.
Champ Kind here, interviewing Joseph Artissimo.
Jose Artissimo.
My bad, fair enough. Joseph is a civilian that survived this earthquake. Joseph, can you share your story and the journey you went through?
See, I was sitting in my home. It was just a normal afternoon with my family at the dinner table, when all of a sudden there's a loud rumble. We knew it was an earthquake, but we did not know how large it was. We went under the table because it seemed like a good option at the time. However, we were poorly mistaken, because that's when the chimney collapsed, followed by the entire right side of the house. I was covered in debris, along with the rest of my family. It took a long time, around 5 hours, before the rescue team came. When I got pulled out of the rubble, it was only me and my wife. My brother and my daughter had died. I don't understand why this has to happen, but it did.
What a touching story. Poor Jesus Articuno.
Thought his name was Joseph Arthimus.
Jose Artissimo.
The city of rivers, now the city of debris.
Darn it, Julius, you knocked him back to 9th grade.
Need to get it together. Now to the chief seismologist at the Chilean Institute of Science.
Hello, Brian Fantana here, with Dr. Butts.
You can call me Seymour Holmes.
Sorry, Seymour here is the chief seismologist at the Institute of Science here in Chile. Brick, can you come down here, please? Hey, Brick.
Hi.
Now, Seymour, can you please tell me how earthquakes happen?
Yes, this is really interesting. Earthquakes usually occur when an area of rock, usually along a fault line, is under immense amounts of stress. The rock will get to a point where it is about too much stress to handle, then at this time the rock will suddenly break, and a release of energy is what causes the earthquake.
Oh.
So just to kind of like show you, maybe it's like,
Oh, that's
yes,
the earthquake.
you understand now.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes. Next question.
Now, Seymour, can you please tell me, what are P&S waves?
Well, P and S waves are both seismic waves that travel through the interior of Earth and are not felt. P waves travel through the Earth, compressing and stretching particles along the way. These waves can travel through both solids and liquids. S waves, on the other hand, travel through the Earth, moving particles in a direction perpendicular to the way the wave is traveling. These waves can only pass through solids. So to paint you kind of a picture, it's like this is a P wave. This is liquid. This is an S wave. This is liquid.
I understand.
Stop. Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, break. What science did you take in high school?
I didn't go to high school.
Fair enough. Okay, next question.
Alright, now, Seymour, can you
Yes.
please describe for me, what are love and relay waves?
Well, love is a very touchy subject, but when you're talking about geology, not so much. Love and Rayleigh waves are both surface waves that travel on the surface of Earth, as the name implies, and causes a lot of damage. Love waves cause horizontal shifting of the Earth during an earthquake, while Rayleigh waves cause the ground to shake in an elliptical motion.
Wow, that sounds horrifying.
Are you okay?
I'm alright.
Do you need anything?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Rick, would you like a balloon?
A little bit.
We can
Get
get
the man
you
a balloon.
Get the man a balloon.
Thanks, guys.
Anything
We're
for you, Brick.
We're here for you, Brick.
So now, Seymour, can you please tell me, what is a seismograph?
Well, you know what, Brian, for you, I'm going to paint you a picture, and then I'm going to tell you. You see, a seismograph is kind of like... In case you didn't get that, in slow motion, it's kind of like...
So, is there a difference between the smaller and the bigger?
Yes, the... Those are going to be your P waves, the primary waves that arrive first. And then the... Those are going to be your secondary waves, or S waves, which arrive to the scene second.
Ah.
So, now that I've painted you that picture, I will tell you what it is. A seismograph is a device that scientists use to measure earthquakes. A seismograph has a pen that is hanging in the air. The pen touches a roll of paper called a drum. When the earthquake happens, the roll of paper shakes, but the pen does not. A weight holds the pen still, and the marks in the paper show the size of the earthquake. A small motor rolls the drum of paper. This lets the seismograph record what happens as time passes. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes,
Me and Brick have been
perfect.
painting a picture.
I like diagrams.
So the seismograph will give you a way to find the distance to the epicenter if you use 3 different seismic stations and find their distance from each to triangulate the data. Then you can find the amplitude on the graph and compare with the distance to the epicenter to find the magnitude of said earthquake.
Wow.
Yes.
And so in this case, the Chilean earthquake, it was, I've heard, a 9.5.
Yes, a whopping 9.5.
Out
Wow.
of what?
Brick. 8 out of 10, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you, kind of.
Thank you.
So, Seymour, this is going to be the last question of the interview.
That's okay.
It's been really a pleasure having you on this.
Pleasure with you too.
Wow, thank you very much. So, I'm going to ask you now, what is intensity?
Well, intensity is you kind of like judging on the damage an earthquake has caused on the surrounding area. You can calculate the intensity of it. Intensity is measured on the Mercalli scale and is based on Roman numerals I through XII. I being not recognized as an earthquake, and XII being the worst case scenario. But, a word of caution, the intensity scale mostly depends on the population and the earthquake readiness of the area said earthquake hits.
Wow. So I've heard this Chilean earthquake that we've been talking about had an intensity of X.
Yes, so that means many of the buildings toppled,
Wow.
and maybe some streets caved in too.
What does X mean?
X means
10
10.
on the Mercalli scale.
So it's like Roman numerals, like X equals 10.
Oh.
Thank you for the insight, Rick.
After a long day of catastrophe and loss, we draw it back to the studio for the final conclusion. A special thanks goes out to the USA men's soccer team for forfeiting the match against Chile and acknowledging their losses. Also, a thanks goes out to Mrs. McCotter's handouts for supplying us with the information that we need to finally report this terrible story, as well as www.earthquakes.usgs.gov for just always being there for us, and my fingers, because I can always count on them, for sidewalks for keeping me off the street. So, in conclusion, there are 2 million Chileans homeless, 1,655 dead, and honestly, I don't know how Chile's going to carry on. This is Ron Burgundy signing off. You stay classy, Santiago.